Yo, who said devotion had to be sad? Yo, check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, and I want. He's making me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. God's gonna turn it around.
Come all the way with me. Don't leave me now. Come all the way with me.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media Radio? The time is now 6:41 a.m. and I'm Riis the Ruler again with your sports, traffic, and weather update. As we head over to the sports, the Chicago Bulls will lose to the Knicks 109-104 as DeMar DeRozan 37 was not enough. As we head over to the Kennedy on traffic, overhead to the Loop will be 25 minutes. Outbound will be 19 on the Eatons. Deerfield to Exchange, 33 minutes. Exchange to Deerfield will be 29, while the Eisenhower, 35 minutes. Thorndale to the Loop, 28 minutes back out to Thorndale. On the Stevenson from I-355 to the Dan Ryan, 35 minutes. Outbound, 31. While the Bishop Ford, I-80 to the Dan Ryan will be 35 minutes, 26 minutes to I-80. The Dan Ryan is 17 minutes to the Loop, 13 minutes to 95th. While DuSable Lakeshore Drive is 8 minutes in both directions. That's north and south. Today's weather, it is currently 30 degrees and cloudy. Today will be a high of 34 with a low of 28. I'm Riis the Ruler here on The Maze Jackson Show.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Come all the way with me. Don't leave me now. Come all the way with me. Oh, please. God's gonna turn it around. God's gonna turn it around. God's gonna turn it around.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis the Ruler, and sitting in with me as my guest host is Mr. Jahmal Cole. You know him as my block, my hood, my city. He is Mr. All That, but he is also running for Congress in the 1st Congressional District. He's sitting in with me today. We're going to be having some great conversations, but I want to do something real quick. I want to thank everybody from WBGX. You know the Saints, they join us every day at 8:30, and they they join us every day at 6:30 and go all the way till 8. That's right. If you are one of the Saints, they listen to us live on WBGX, Big Gospel Express. So thank y'all for joining us. Now, y'all know the Sinners get here at 6 and they got to stay late till 9. So the Sinners get here from 6 to 9 every day. And you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. That's right. It is the Maze Jackson Show. I need to take a moment. Excuse me, Jahmal. I got to take care of some real quick business. To my girl, Desiree Anderson. Desiree Anderson, I want to tell you thank you. Desiree went old school on me. She said I don't put the Twitter, the Twitch, the YouTube, I don't put all the cash pay up. So she sent us another check. This is her second check. She say, Maze, thank you for being the voice of what's in it for the black people. I usually tune in at 6 because you're my alarm to remind me to alarm clock in for work. I have a request that you display the Zelle account again so I can send my support by Zelle. I do not use Cash App. I wrote down $ Maze said, but I'm not sure if this was for Zelle. Thanking you in advance for everything you do, Desiree A. Anderson. Desiree, thank you. Thank you. Shout out to everybody. If you are looking to, my seniors always tell me, they say, Maze, you be putting up the Cash App too fast. I don't do that. So I said, you want me to put the address up for you? So I put the address up real quick. It's WIIFTBP Media. You can get us at 2907 South Wabash, Unit 201, Chicago, Illinois, 60616. Send that love and support. We do this out of, I stopped by WBGX yesterday. Had to pay the tab. So I got an attitude this week. You know, I got an attitude. Then it's payday too. It's payroll this week too. Oh yeah, I got attitude. This Jamal, this the day. Don't talk to me this week. don't test me this week because I already be having attitudes. So look, Jahmal Cole is in the building, man. We got a lot to talk about, but Jamal, I'm gonna run through a couple of these headlines. I just want to get your opinions real quick.
Yes, sir.
So did you see the Columbus statues are due to return to the park?
No, sir, I did not see that.
Okay, so the Columbus statues are due to return to the park. Looks like that lawsuit where the mayor, now, I feel like they did this to dismiss this lawsuit because the mayor don't want to have to explain how big hers is because this all came from that lawsuit. So they said as soon as they can work out the security for the statue, they're going to put it back. I don't know, man. So, go ahead.
Where's the Fred Hampton statue?
Oh, that's never happening. That's not happening in Chicago.
They
You ain't trying to make
it with that statue.
You ain't trying to go to Congress, dog. Not talking like that.
Well, I'm saying, but they have
you ain't trying to go to Congress.
I'm gonna be in Congress, and Fred Hampton Jr. He's gonna come there and support. We're gonna be in support together and solidarity together. But I bring students from the West Side to the West Side Justice Center every year so they can learn about the Black Panthers. I think that we need to. In our communities, there's no statues, man. All I see is, 15 currency exchanges and no banks. In my community, you ask a kid what's a job at a bank, they don't know. All I see is a liquor store in every other corner. You might as well get drunk. I see Louis Vuitton caskets in the windows of funeral homes. They light up at night. I saw a Basquiat casket the other day. Kids passing by say, "Mom, I want to get buried in that casket." Where's the hope? Where's the curiosity? You know what I mean? So, no, man, I think that being a politician, you're going to necessarily displease people, and that come with it. But I feel like Fred Hampton, what do you mean in Chicago? He needs more than a statue, kind of an endowment or something like that.
Man, I was asking about a statue for Fred Hampton. Well, I was asking about just a placard.
Yeah.
Just putting a memorial. Like just put like this was the spot. Yeah. Like, like where you could go by it, put your phone by it, and then tell the story. Yeah. They was like, oh, no.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty dope what you're talking about right there. Yeah. All right, how about this one? Did you see a car smashes through Brown Sugar Bakery? You talk about Chatham all the time.
Yeah, man.
How a car smashes through Brown Sugar Bakery. They said a tow truck had to pull it out, and nobody's caught. Explain that to me.
Well, shots of stuff over there, man. Chatham is not even a neighborhood. It's a state of mind. And that state of mind represents, African-American home ownership, businesses, and block clubs. I mean, she put a lot of money up for newsletters. She supports a lot of block clubs. She's a great person, a great role model. When people walk by her Brown Sugar Bakery to get, they walk by that and go to the liquor store, just them seeing that business open, that's impact. Wow, kids walk by and see that open, that's impact, right? And so not to mention the Obama cake they got there, not to mention all the events they do. I'm just saying, just by her having the doors open right there, that shows kids it's possible. So we need to how it happened, man. I don't know how that happened, but I tell you what, I hope if she needs to do a GoFundMe, I'd be willing to support her getting back on her feet.
Okay, that's dope, man. You're talking about it. You're not just talking about it. You're being about it. I think it's crazy though that a car can drive into a bakery and get away with it and they not arrested yet. I'm just saying. How does that happen? Where's the cameras? Because, boy, they sure can ring camera your butt get you. That's okay. I'm going to let that be. All right. Did you see Nicole Lee was sworn in as the 11th Ward Alderman? First Asian American. No, not the first Asian American. First Asian American female because what's my man? Not Raja Krishnamurthy. There was an Asian American. I can't think of his name, but he was up north. Oh, Amaya Pawar.
Oh yeah, I remember.
But that's different Asian.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, dude, what's your thoughts on the first Asian? And is that the end of the Irish dominance of Bridgeport? Is now the historic 11th Ward the home of the Irish? Like that was like the homeland. Is it now the Chinese homeland?
Nah, I mean, she said, I'm doing this with people that don't eat rice at night or eat rice every day. I'm doing this regardless of what color, gender, religion, opinion, ethnicity, occupation. I'm doing it for you. Now, I will say this. When I go into bars in Bridgeport, crickets. They look at you still, you know. It's an energy still around there, you know what I mean. But I think that by her stepping up, man, it can't get no worse than what it was. I mean, it can't get no worse than what it was before. So I'm happy that she stood up. We need more females in prominent positions and leading, and I think she's stepping up to the plate. I look forward to learning from her. We have a station over there. We have our exploration station right there in Bridgeport, and so I look forward to our students getting to meet her.
Okay, cool. I got some opinions on that.
Okay.
As we get a little bit further in the show, that's actually my 8 o'clock discussion. Because I want to know, with the new Asian alderman, whose side is she on? There's a real war going on. I remember the big fight over NTA, a lot of different things, and I think as the South Loop, or not the South Loop, but literally where we stand right now, becomes engulfed in the Asian community, what does it mean for our position here in our power dynamic? So we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Yesterday, I hear the transgender rally got a boost from ECCSC. I expect Tyrone Muhammad will be calling in at 8:30 to tell us what happened yesterday, because the newspaper said they caused a ruckus. But I would always think that if Tyrone and ECCSC showed up, they was probably somewhere trying to make sure that the black people's interest was taken care of or being highlighted as well. But when I see the stories, I was gonna read the headline from the paper, but the headline from the paper, I be feeling like sometimes we misunderstood. So we're gonna let Tyrone Muhammad call in, even though I don't know what Ty be thinking. He think this his show or something. You got the Riis, and we got to put a time on Ty. Right, because Ty be like, I got the whole half hour, right? I be like, look, Ty, I just want to know what happened. Tracy, get Ty now. I'm just telling you now. Get your breakfast, get everything together so you can get them all together, because I know who the boss is for real. Also, Ketanji Brown Jackson, the confirmation of her. I didn't watch it all, but I feel like it's. I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it from the stat. So, did I tell y'all last week I asked about the video? And so last week I was on break and I asked about the video. I just said, I didn't see the video. And can y'all post pictures? And I got this whole thread of black women going off on me. What? Why is black men always got a problem whenever somebody and I was like, I wanted to know what happened at Kitchen and Cocktails, right? Because it was a big thing about Kitchen and Cocktails. But they thought, so I want to know, what is the big hullabaloo about Ketanji Brown Jackson? I do think that there is a slight twinge of something when black men see black women elevated with white men. But I think it's no different than the same twinge that black women feel when they see a star athlete roll out with a white woman. Right? So I don't think it's a quid pro quo. I do think that somewhere in the universe it is a little tweak sometimes, right? It's like, they did it with the Kamala. Right? Remember Kamala and the Chucks and Pearls, and we was just forget everything. So don't act like ain't nobody got y'all be mad when the NFL or the NBA players show up with Kylie Jenner. And just like we gonna be, except they got Kylie Jenner. They get the Supreme Court now. We get Kylie Jenner, right? They get the Supreme Court nominee. I'm not tripping, but understand the brothers be like, this is not a fair trade. I'm just, Jamal, I'm not politically correct.
I would say this. I would say that.
You sure you want to do this? You running for Congress?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Chris Rock showed great composure, and so did she. He was physically abused. She was verbally abused. Both of them showed great composure in the moment. I think I watched everything, and I thought the tone they took against her, I thought that was totally off. But I was proud to see how she handled the situation. She taught us all how to just just pray and be calm and take the Calm app in the morning and make sure you're doing your work, making sure you're running them 3 miles a day, make sure you're eating healthy. All that plays a role. If you're not consistent with any of that, you're going to have a breakdown like Will Smith had. You have a breakdown because you wasn't doing your work. She's been doing her work, and she was able to, whatever she did, sit on top of her hands, take deep breaths. You know, whatever she did, it was she showed great composure, and salute her.
All right. I guess, is YouTube not acting right? It's good? Okay. I'm just checking. It says it's fine now. All right. So this is what I think. I think when you go to be the Supreme Court nominee, I think you understand. I think you should know. I ain't take nothing personal. I don't even know that it was humiliating. I think. Who is that? Is that me?
Mm-hmm.
That is me. I don't know that. I think we'd be hyper personal when it comes to watching these things. I think if you've ever watched anybody get grilled on the stand, and you are going to be to the highest court in the land, and you know it's controversial, and you know your ops is out there, it's like you can't get mad. You just got to be like, yo, be still for the fact that there's nothing you're going to be able to say. And I do got to ask, the woman question. It is a little crazy when we can't even say what the definition of a man and a woman is to me. I'm not going to be. I think that even the fact that that's confusing creates the space for all of the other stuff that you're talking about, but I'm going to let that be. Look, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, Jahmal Cole, sitting in with me. He is the founder and chief executive officer and the chairman?
Yes, sir.
Founder, chief executive officer, and chairman. So that means he get 2 votes on the board.
No, I'm not the chairman of the board. I'm just a CEO. I am the CEO and the founder, but we have a president of the board, treasurer, all that stuff. I'm not on the board.
You're not on the board?
Nah.
Not at all? Hey,
right
man,
now.
you got to keep a vote, bro.
Hey,
you
already
got
know.
to keep a vote on the board, dog. You
Yeah.
can't start your corp. You got to keep him voting, because then it'd be a smart guy that be like, I got a better idea. That's okay. I'm gonna stop though.
I appreciate that.
It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man Jahmal Cole in the building. Real quick, the social media question of the day was, I don't know if you all saw. Oh, go ahead. Give me the big voice, Riis.
It's time for the social media question of the day.
I don't know if you all saw yesterday, but Governor J.B. Pritzker had 2 of his appointments to the Prison Review Board denied. Okay, first of all, it looks like Pritzker's power, check this one out, this is a good one. Pritzker's power is on the blink, right? Pritzker's power is on the blink because when does a sitting governor not able to get his appointees to the Prison Review Board, right? Shout out to Oriel James, who is a stalwart in the Hyde Park community. And there was another woman. Oriel removed his withdrawal. He got the appointment, but never got voted in officially. So it was his time to come up in front of the Senate, and the Senate, he resigned his position before even getting a vote. And the black lady who was the other person, she got voted down in a place where the Senate, Democrats have a super majority in the Senate. And really they were turned down because of their positions on criminal justice reform. That was the pillar, and criminal justice reform has been the pillar and the anchor to me for the last 4 years of everything that they've been able to do to and around black people. They use criminal justice reform to pass cannabis, right? Yeah. They use criminal justice reform as the face of the Black Caucus 5 pillars in the black agenda. And now that criminal justice reform history is now working against the governor and Democrats. Check this out. In a Democrat-controlled Senate where the Democrats have a super majority, which means that the Republicans have no say, 14 Democrats voted against their appointment and 12 took no vote for advocates of criminal justice reform, which means black folks was like, ooh, I got to back up off of it. So the social media question of the day is, are we reaching a point of criminal justice reform backlash? Give us your thoughts, 872-259-7474. I don't know how much time we're going to have for this one, only because I promised Jahmal we were going to give him the opportunity to talk about his run for Congress, so he's going to get an official Lions Den interview. But before we do that, Jahmal, do you think we are reaching a point of criminal justice reform backlash? Like, is the sentiment and the love because of George Floyd over with this spike in crime being reported across the country?
We definitely need criminal justice reform. Over 2 million Americans are put in prison and jail, 38,000 in the state of Illinois. I just think about former CPD Commander John Burge and his fellow officers torturing over 200 Chicago citizens, most of them black people, in a basement of Cook County Jail without no punishment. It happened for 20 years. They were putting bags over people's heads, putting guns on their throat, and giving them shock therapy till they confessed. Right? I think that we definitely need to reimagine what justice looks like in the country. When you put people in jail and they have mandatory minimums and solitary confinement, we got to deal with that trauma when they come back home and they're walking around free, but they really locked up. We dealing with that, right? And so I think that we definitely need criminal justice reform. The answer is not to put people in these private prisons. We need to start putting money in nonprofits that's doing the work, putting mental health services back in the community. So yeah, we definitely need criminal justice reform. That's high on my agenda.
Well, while I recognize we need it, are we reaching a point of backlash in the larger sense? So, like, I feel like there was a sentiment in the world during the George Floyd era, where people were like, "Oh, we need to." Now I feel like it's almost like the rubber band has snapped back.
Understood. Yeah.
And people are not like, look at Richard Irvin running for mayor, and he's like, "I'm against police, and we need more police." And
you don't know if these businesses care about justice being reformed or justice being denied or their business being interrupted. Right? I mean, even social impact organizations experienced a wave of money after George Floyd, a wave. Right? Now you see that's dwindling down. That's why you got to teach people how to respect you. Say, hey, I don't want the investment for 1 year. You got to invest in my program for 4 years. Let me teach you how to support nonprofit organizations. So yeah, I think that I agree with you that it's dwindling down, man. But people are standing up all over the world because of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, our own Adam Toledo, Laquan McDonald. People standing up all over the world for it. I love it.
Wait, did you add Adam Toledo in there?
Yeah, it's Chicago. So
you talking about Lil Homicide? All right, look, it's the Maze Jackson show. See, I'm just gonna tell you, man, it's a dangerous show, bro. you like, hey, we got some opinions around here about Lil Homicide, but we gonna talk about it when we come back, y'all. It's the Maze Jackson show. Maze Jackson, Jahmal Cole. Now, if you are interested in this, look at 7:00 when we come back. This is going to be an hour discussion in the Lions Den, right? Okay, cool. On your congressional race. I got questions, comments, concerns. I want to hear your platform.
Yes, sir.
I think I squeezed everything you had. I told you this dude sent me a show script. Like, I'll be like, did you tell me what to do?
No, I wouldn't.
Check it out. I'm gonna tell you what. This brother has been one of the most respectful brothers in his communication that I've experienced in this time, and I'm gonna be honest with you. First of all, I dress better than Jahmal Green. I dress definitely better than Jahmal Green. But your humility, and Jahmal Green got a big old ego. He got like a big old ego. He got an entourage, even though his suits be too tight. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. Brother, y'all present, you have a different demeanor. Yeah. But it's like I've been pleasantly surprised with my interaction with you young people. So I'm going to keep on trying to be a positive inspiration. But when we come back, Riis, go in the computer, because somewhere in there, Sonya got lions, right? So you got to bring out the lions, because it's time for the Lions Den. We're going to be talking to Jahmal Cole. He is a candidate for 1st Congressional District. Up next on the Maze Jackson Show.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break. Maze Jackson.
What's up, Chicago? This is your man, Maze Jackson, host of the Maze Jackson Show. You hear me every single day ask the question, what's in it for the black people? Well, finally, y'all, we've got an answer, and it's called the Black People First Party. Meet us every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at TP, located at 5401 South Wentworth, Unit 17E. That's in the mall at the 55th and the Dan Ryan. And you join us every Saturday where we are taking our politics black. We'll teach you everything you need to know about the game, from how to collect a petition, to how to knock on a door, to even how to become the next mayor of the city of Chicago. That's right, y'all. It is the Black People First Party. Meet us every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at TP, located at 5401 South Wentworth in the mall at 55th and the Dan Ryan. And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said. It's a black people thing. You wouldn't even understand.
Maze Jackson.
Yeah. Ruthie Mo. Riis the ruler. Maze Jackson. This is the reparations interlude. We not asking, we demanding. So go on, make my payments. Ha 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 ha. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them ha 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 ha. Not no SBA loans, just run the bread, make it ha 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 ha. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them ha 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 ha. Look, Hey, check it out. First drug lord was President Nixon. Oval Office was the trap house where he was tipping. Got the drugs from Nicaragua and gave us crack. Declared war on blacks. Man, tell him to cut the check and tried to make it seem like a revolution. CIA was the corner boys for distribution. We could tear this country in half for retribution. But I'd rather get some restitution, so tell him to cut the check. John Singleton, man, he already told y'all. He broke it down for you when he made Snowfall. They locked us all up and created whole laws. So send a message like a cold call. Tell them to cut the check. Look, we built this city. We built this city. Back, put this country together and gave him hella aid. Lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Over 400 years. Been punching the clock, but yeah, we still ain't got paid. Look, they paying the immigrants. They paid the Jews. Executive orders, man, they made the rules. I want my 40 acres, you can save the mule. Cause as of right now, we getting played for the fool. Look, forced sterilization, Tuskegee experiment, Rosewood, Japanese internment. Come on. Was all paid out from the government. We waiting on our turn, we definitely earned it. So make my payment. Ha, 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 ha. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them ha, 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 ha. Not no SBA loans, just run the bread, make it ha, 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 ha. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them ha, 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 ha. Not no stimulus checks, just run the bread, make it ha. Yeah, Ruthie Mo, Riis the ruler, Maze Jackson. This is the reparations interlude. We not asking, we demanding.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
Church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies now of the politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze and Riis, and Ruthie and Ty, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't trying to help us, they ain't trying to do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect, you oppressed, it's all wrong.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis the ruler on the ones and twos, and in the building, one of 25 candidates, as I can count thus far, for the congressional seat in the 1st Congressional District. In case you don't know, that is the seat that Bobby Rush is vacating. And since Bobby Rush announced that he was not running, there was a flood of people who jumped in the race. And it is my goal. I don't know how I'm going to talk to all 25 of them, but I don't even expect that 25 of them will make it because quite a few of them are subject to a challenge.
16
of the 25 are being challenged. In case those of you that do not watch the show or don't know, what challenge means is that that someone is suggesting that there's a flaw in their petitions and they would like to have them knocked off the ballot. But what I see here is that Jahmal Cole is unchallenged, which means, and Jahmal, I'm going to tell you, it's interesting to me because I think you have an infrastructure already built, but we're going to talk about all of that in a minute. But let's start here. Jahmal Cole, you are a candidate for congressman in the 1st Congressional District, founder of My Block, My Hood, My City. But do me a favor, for those of the people in the audience who don't know you, give me your 2-minute elevator speech about who is Jahmal Cole and why are you running for Congress?
We, the class of 1988, are determined to be our best at whatever we say or do. We'll share a smile and lend a hand to our neighbor because no matter what, we'll be the best in a lifetime. Those 50 words, that was the entirety of my preschool graduation speech. My dad says I wrote the speech. My mom taught me how to use hand gestures. My mom took me to church 3 times a week. She was a Jehovah's Witness. My pops, we was homeless. You know, we ate at shelters, and I used to be embarrassed on Thanksgiving to get the food from the shelter. And my dad said, man, hold your head up high when you get that food. I was embarrassed as my classmates were wearing a clear gloves volunteering. I didn't even know what volunteers were. I slept in a motel, man. My mom used to give me a food stamp, my brother a food stamp, my sister a food stamp, say spend 10 cents each, bring me back $2.70 so I could buy some bleach because you couldn't use food stamps to buy basic toiletries. Like, I came up, man, the first time I got caught stealing, I stole school supplies. My dad said, you're going to be a president one day. He told everybody, my son stole a protractor. I was a legend already at 11, man. Like, in high school, all we did was break into houses. I go home and say, Dad, look what I stole today. And he would only get mad if I did it with somebody else. Man, if I went to school 3 times in a week, my dad would say, you going to school again today? Like, I never met anybody that graduated college. I never seen, until I was 17 years old, the first time I ever seen anybody that went to college. I was like, man, I could do it. I could do it. And I went to my guidance counselor and said, I'm going to Howard University. I applied for $75. I never heard back. She said, well, why? You know, you can't go to a Division I school. You go to an alternative high school. I said, man, you talking down on me. You hating on me. And so I stole a book off of her shelf and ripped the page out. It said Wayne State College in Nebraska. I was like, Nebraska, what's out there? What's in Nebraska, man? But they accepted people from alternative high schools, man. I went out there. I learned how to stop making excuses. I was a scholar athlete. I graduated college in 3 years. When I graduated, I started hustling my self-published books downtown Chicago in front of Foot Locker, inspired by Mays Jackson, by the way. Inspired by you, I started selling my own books downtown Chicago. I made $100,000 in 8 months. More so than money, I started volunteering at Cook County Jail with the AT unit, not 18, acronym for automatic transfer. Inside the jail with the real shackles by your feet and hands. The kids that never, like, why hasn't your life worked out for you up until right now, Marquell? Why hasn't it worked out for you? You know what he said? A list full of excuses. I wrote a book called 50 Excuses to Not Following Your Dreams. In that jail, everybody was like, my block is this, my hood is that, my city is that. I started a program out of Cook County Jail, expanding kids' horizons to something outside. You know, if you show kids better, they can do better. So that's who I am, man. I started a nonprofit. I feel like I'm talking fast as I got 2 minutes, but I'm the best. I'm the only community organizer. I'm the only community organizer in the campaign. I show up for people. I showed up in 2009 when I started volunteering at Cook County Jail, writing rap lyrics with a young man as a form of therapy. I showed up in 2013 when I started My Block, My Hood, My City. I showed up throughout the snowstorms and in the heat waves for seniors. I've shown up for small businesses. I just gave out $2 million in the last year to small businesses. I showed up for seniors in the pandemic, helped 12,000 seniors, man. I did all that without running for an office. Imagine what I'm going to do when I'm in office. I'm going to be a partner in government for activists and for nonprofit organizations. When you go to the polls, vote for Jahmal Cole.
Okay, so that is Jahmal Cole, why he is running for office. Jahmal, let me back up because we talked about this before. Tell me, first of all, you know, and you from Chicago, first thing people going to ask you, what high school? So what high school did you go to?
No, I'm from Waukegan, man. I'm not from Chicago. Like, the tallest building where I'm from is the jail.
Okay.
and the best design building too. No, I came to my mom's from the west side of Chicago, right? And so from Austin, Madison, right? My whole family, my mom's side of the family lives on the west side. But when I graduated Chicago, I wanted to make a difference. And so I moved to the south side of Chicago. The guy said, the realtor, I had $16,000.
Where you get $16,000, dog?
I'm a hustler, bro. I was selling books downtown. I had $16,000. And I said, okay, I'm going to buy a house. And he said, what do you want to do in the world? I said, well, I'm going to be a mayor one day. He said, well, you got to move to Chatham. I said, where's that? He said, well, that's on the south side. That's where African-American home ownership, block clubs, that's where you got to move there. Bought a house in Chatham. I still own that house right now.
Okay. Is that where you still live too?
Yes, sir. It's my primary residence.
Okay. All right. So, Jahmal, talk to me about what made you decide to actually run for office? So I know a bit about your work at My Block, My Hood, My City. I want to go back to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But I want you to tell me what made you decide to run for Congress. And you decided to run for Congress before Danny Davis got out. What made
Rush.
you decide? Bobby Rush got out.
Yeah, I was the first to announce, right? I was the first person to announce. So it's been, I was in Beverly giving a speech, and right when I started speaking, the police officers turned on their sirens and tried to drown me out. And in that,
What was you giving a speech about?
it was about it was a Black Lives Matter rally. It was about community organizing, how we need to, if there's 16 houses on one side of the street and 19 houses on the other side of the street, create a Facebook group to keep people connected. It didn't matter what I was talking about that was going to drown me out. I wasn't talking about the consent decree. I wasn't talking about them being Texas Rangers. I wasn't talking about, I've been pulled over in Indiana, Nebraska, Wisconsin, and every time I felt like I was going to die. I wasn't talking about that. I was just talking about community organizing, and they drowned me out. So I knew I needed a bigger platform. And the people that were out there in Beverly, they were like, hey, you have high name recognition, and you have more name recognition than Barack Obama when he ran against Bobby Rush. Would you ever consider this? So the people asked me to run for Congress. It wasn't like I was like, I want to do this office, I want to do that. The people in Beverly said, hey, we love what you do with My Block, My Hood, My City. We know you from shoveling snow. We think you have we want you to run. And so I just listened to the people. That's how I decided.
So Jahmal, Beverly's not very black. Matter of fact, Beverly's kind of like exclusionary of black people. Who are those people in Beverly? Was that a white group? Was that a mixed group? Yeah. Was that was it BOP? Or was it an organization? Who was it? Who are the people that led this push?
It was really like, two black people. Like it was, Robert Emmons Jr., who ran for Congress last term and lost. He got 10% of the vote. And then it was Christian Perry, who's, the director of political affairs for Governor Pritzker right now. So those are the two people that approached me. And they had other white people around them, I don't want to, the Duggan twins. I mean, the Duggan sisters, everybody know those three. It's a lot of political action committees, and it's also a lot of, Beverly Arts Center's a lot of community organizations there too. So Christian Perry and Robert Emmons Jr. both approached me and taught me a lot every morning for 6 months. Every morning we talked policy. Every morning. Because I was always I don't want to make the jump from an activist to a politician. What do you mean? They're like, Jahmal, you're already talking about the currency exchanges. That's a policy issue. Jahmal, you're already talking about you going into Walgreens and all the cough syrup being locked up. That's a policy issue. Jahmal, you already talking about a liquor store in every other corner. That's a policy issue. You're talking about it. You're just doing it from an activist. Let us help you. And so I trusted those guys, and we're still working together now. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Got it. So then can we safely say that Governor Pritzker is in a way supporting you?
No. I mean,
because isn't Christian his political director?
But we had to fall off, So he wasn't a political director with Pritzker when he first started working with me. He just got that position like a couple months ago. So ever since he's had involvement with that, when he got promoted, we haven't done our morning meetings. That's still my brother, but at the same time, we haven't had our political meetings. But Pritzker, man, he used to tell me, first time I met Governor Pritzker in Bronzeville, he was like, man, I looked up your LinkedIn page. I was like, oh yeah? He's like, you were a Microsoft engineer. How was you a Microsoft engineer and you started My Block, My Hood, My City? I was like, well, I was hustling books downtown Chicago, and the owner of a trading firm hired me and put me in school in the wintertime. And I failed twice, but when I when I passed, he hired me. I worked there for 4 years, and I learned how to build operating systems. And when kids would get out of Cook County Jail, I'd bring them to the trading firm to teach them about software engineering. That's how I did it. And so that's kind of how it started. And Giordano's was right across the street. That kind of started my Explorers program. So I just explained that to him.
Okay. So, Jahmal, let's go back.
All right.
Because you mentioned Governor Pritzker. I got to ask because people want to know.
What up?
About your relationship with Rahm Emanuel.
Yeah.
I know that there was a time, and I'll just go back historically. There was a moment when Rahm Emanuel was probably at his least popular. I would say that probably at his least popular in the black community. But you've been a vociferous advocate for him or an ally of his. How do you think that jibes with black folks? Or do you? I mean,
it's a misrepresentation. I think that I met Rahm Emanuel at an Inglewood 5K.
Right, that's the post that most people replay when they.
That's the first time. And he asked me, "Will you run this race with me?" I ran the race with him, and I was surprised. I never ran a 5K before, but I was surprised when he was like, "Jahmal, at this next corner, Tina's gonna hop out. Oh, Jahmal, watch out! This pit." He knew the dog's name. Look for this person from the window. I was like, "Wow, Rahm Emanuel knows like people in Inglewood." I was blown away, and so what I would say is from that. I took a picture. I guess I must have smiled too much for people. When I took the picture for them, they started burning my hoodies. They started talking down on me. Again, y'all pulled the Will Smith. Y'all could have brought me to the side and said, "Hey, let's talk about this at Dat Donuts. Let's talk about this at the barbershop." But you went online. That's why I don't respect that, man. Look, let me tell you, there's a lot of different activists in Chicago. We all got our different tactics and agendas on how we address issues. Some people like me have nonprofit organizations that take kids to college. Some people don't got solutions like that, and that's fine. Y'all specialty is making sure causes aren't forgotten, right? And that's great for Chicago because y'all put pressure on institutions to address issues we care about. But that don't make you more of an activist to me. And we all know it's cap. So you can say
back up because I got an older audience. Cap. I thought so. Tell me what cap is. Tell the people what cap is.
It's you just.
It's a lie.
You saying things to be saying things. Yeah, it's like it's just you doing it for the gram. Are you really fighting for injustice, or are you fighting for Instagram, man? Quit playing. Like the first time I ever met you was at my aunt's funeral, who got killed by a Chicago police officer. You was touching my aunt's casket trying to go live. I told you was disrespectful. Like, don't play no games, man. Like, I see these people in the streets. It's not like that. I don't have no beef with any activists. Ain't no beef. It's just they be saying things, bro. I've never taken a dime from Rahm Emanuel. I run a nonprofit. I got a 99 that you can look at it. I never, what Rahm Emanuel told me? He said, when you get in office, he said, what do you want to be? I said, I'm going to be the mayor one day. He said, why? I said, because I want to be a part of great decisions being made from my block, my hood, my city. He said, what are you doing next Tuesday? He brought me into the office. He said, when you get here, you better care about your people like I care about my people. We didn't have no personal relationship. He said, I don't even got time to be talking to you, but you must be talented because your name keeps coming up. Your name keeps coming up. And so I didn't listen. He said, I'm not scared of ambition. He told me this. He said, Jahmal, don't ever run for alderman. He said, I'm going to get in trouble. This is on camera. He said, don't ever run for alderman. I said, why? He said, you already done more than them people in the city. He said, you should run for something a lot higher because your name keeps coming up. So I don't, that's the extent of our relationship. Like, so I don't know what people say I'm advocating for this dude, but I will say this though, man. I will say this. I appreciate all conversations. And at that time, man, at that time where the activists was in the streets going around Emmanuel's house and stuff like that, like, you guys figured it out quicker than me. You know what I mean? I'm running my nonprofit. My home went into foreclosure, taking kids on after school trips. I won't be watching Chicago Tonight. Bro, I'm listening to Benny the Butcher. Like, what are you talking about? I'm in a car with kids. I'm giving speeches in Chatham every day. So you figured it out. Kudos, bro. And I understand the fight. I want to fight with you. But to say that I'm advocating for that person, or to say that we're friends or something like that, that's a mischaracterization. He never gave me nothing. He what he did was watching him. Listen, bro. When you go into his office and you see them 300 Catholic students come into his office in the morning and take pictures with him with their parents, you're going to be like, oh, that's what you're going to say. You're like, man.
Okay. So let me ask, do you, man, let me back up because you came up in here with a lot of props, man. Oh, yeah. You came in here early. You came in with some props. Break down the props for me, man. What's going on here?
All right. So first of all, these are all the 7 books that I've written every year. You know, every year for the last 7 years. First when I started hustling downtown, because you inspired me, athletes and MCs, right? That's everybody wants to be a rapper or a basketball player, right? That's showing them success exists in different forms. This book is a torch of decency. It's about Chatham and the community I represent. Chatham's not a community, it's a state of mind. That state of mind represents block clubs. This is our history in Chatham. This is 50 excuses to not following your dreams. I've heard all of the excuses. I've made all the excuses. I'm a product of my environment. I'm a victim of my circumstances. My parents didn't go to college. I've made all those excuses. This is the 3rd book. This is the 4th book. Sorry. Exposure is key, right? If you show kids better, they'll do better. Exposure is key. I know they try to copy the city key with my design. That's fine. No, here you go. My next book is called It's Not Regular. Right? Hidden injustice in Chicago. Oppression is real. It's a structural part of our country and its history, and we don't know how it's being sustained. When currency exchange is charging you 3% on your $100 and they got a bulletproof glass window up, who's really being robbed? It's not regular. It's not regular that all these fast food places in the community, right? I talk about that in that book. This is called What's Something Simple That I Can Do That'll Have a Positive Impact on My Block. Everybody want to know who on the president's board? Man, start a block club, man. If you work in IT, make a website for a nonprofit organization. If you're a lawyer, do an expungement clinic in a hood. What's something simple you can do? When you start with the simple things, that's how you develop the muscle it takes to make a difference. When it comes to, this is what people are eating in the community every day. Flaming Hots with the nacho, the cheese at the gas station, Church's chicken, Popeye's chicken, Shark's chicken, and then this is all you see in the hood is the free diabetic test. This is what it leads to. This is health. We need some health literacy. If you look at the back of a cigarette box, it says caution. It needs to say that on the back of this Church's chicken box, right? It needs to say that there. This is what I see in my community. This is the yellow tape. When I take kids home at night, when they see the yellow tape, they say, "Oh man, it's not even serious unless it's the red tape." That's when you know That's when you know it's been a body. Like this, when you go to Walgreens, all the cough syrup is locked up. You know what I mean? So that's that. Kids, this is what they eat is ramen noodles. They have ramen noodles cooking competitions. You know, we always do it. Some people put mayonnaise in there. Some people put hot sauce in there. We always do the ramen noodles cooking competition, right? And this is my pops used to sip a can of Old English, Charles Porzingis. We was poor, never could afford to be in Little League. Got my first pair of jeans at the dollar store, an upgrade from the thrift store. I was shining morphine, a Babatol, shining off the wall. Doctor called. I was having seizures on my mama's floor. That was back in Waukegan, where the living room was the dining room. That was poverty, but I ain't see it as an obstacle. Anything was possible. I could be the president. My cousin do. Listen, I could tell you about it, but the point I'm trying to make is, man, I paid my way through college by rapping. I turned that into writing books. I was smoking weed in the streets, man. I read this book. I saw Barack Obama at the Bud Billiken parade in 2004 when he was on the back of a drop. Him and Michelle, he was waving. I said, man, that dude gonna be the president. I watched him against Alan Keyes on Chicago Tonight. I studied this book up and down. This is the same book I bought, man. Probably the second book I read in my life, man. Stop smoking, learn how to be a community organizer, and start doing it. This book is The End of Policing. Alex Vitale, he was just on my show. He was just on a podcast with me a couple months ago. That's my man. Cory Booker, I cried on this book on page 180 when he started showing pictures of old community organizers, old people that taught him the game, just like they taught me the game in Chatham. So, and this right here, the Star Crunch, when I was homeless growing up, and my dad used to, we used to go to, at nighttime, we used to go to movies all day, 3 movies in a day, because we ain't had nowhere to go. We'd get out the movies and go look for quarters on the ground so I could buy Little Debbie snacks. White zebra cakes were my favorite, or the Star Crunch, right? If we couldn't find any quarters, my pops would go inside a Jewel, Osco, and he would steal. He would go in and steal a pack of hot dogs, steal me an orange juice. He would come out. I'd be like, man, Dad, thank you for stealing the food tonight. He would look at me and say, I ain't never stole nothing a day of my life. Don't put that on me. Get that orange juice in your system, man. That's what my dad used to tell me. So I brought all these things here to show you this is not regular. These things in our community, it's not regular we ordering our food through 3-inch bulletproof glass windows. It's not, look, I'm wearing a bulletproof vest. I could talk about it. This is a real, I got shot 3 times. I got shot at 3 times in the last year. I got hit once. And then a whole political action committee on the north side raised money for me a bulletproof vest. It's like, yo, we gonna raise some money for you a bulletproof vest. I said, I don't want one if everybody can't have one. If everybody can't have one on the south side, I don't want one. So I said, man, nah, I don't want it. I said, I don't want it. Let me take this off real quick. I said, I don't want one if everybody can't have one, man. I got shot. Look, I've been living in Chatham my whole life. I got shot freaking in South Shore. I'm jogging down a block. I thought somebody's tire popped. I thought somebody's tire popped. What happened? I looked to my right with empathy, like, dang, that sucks. A rock hit your windshield? No, somebody shot me. I was bleeding. I got hit in my arm. My whole body was full of orange blood. A lady started screaming. I woke up in an ambulance. You know what they said? Don't jog that way anymore. Don't jog. If I lived in Gold Coast, would they have said that? Nuh-uh, they wouldn't have said that. Don't jog that way. I got to the hospital. Do you know at the hospital, I didn't even cry when I got shot. I cried going in because I was so embarrassed. They had 15 white doctors strip me naked, stab me with a tetanus shot, start working on my arm. Do you know they tried to arrest me at the hospital? They said, is your name Jahmal Cole and you were born in 1989? I said, no, I wasn't born in 1989, man. Oh, our bad. But I said, I'm already traumatized. Long story long, man, the same day the kids had to go back to school like nothing happened. I got shot in broad day. A month later, I got shot at again in Hyde Park on 53rd with an Uzi this time. A Uzi, ran for my life. That was the same day something happened to you, bro. They shot at me. I ran for my life, ran out my MCL basically. But look, man, the point I'm trying to make is that gun violence is a real issue in the city, and you can't bulletproof. Our bulletproof vest should be putting resources in communities. Our bulletproof vest needs to be, having schools be more equitable. Our bulletproof vest needs to be supporting nonprofit organizations. It's not an actual bulletproof vest. So that's why I brought all these props up here. I'm really visual as how I think about things, and I'm running for I'm the only. Listen, man, like I show up for people. I've shown up for people my whole life. Imagine what I'm going to do when I'm in Congress, man. But this is represents, and this is for all the activists to know. A little jewel for y'all. I'm gonna drop some jewels on y'all. Go to the local newspapers, not the big ones. Find out who are the columnists in the local newspapers. Build relationships with them. If you want to know, do an asset map of your neighborhood. Who are the grass tops leaders? Who are the faith-based leaders? Who are the community organizations? When are the aldermanic nights, the state representative nights, the senate? Go. And when you go, you'll listen and you'll apply what you learn, man. So this is all a representation of like,
man, fam, you got a lot of jewels in there. I feel like, man, you Jahmal, it seems to me like you've got a lot of insight.
Yeah.
It also seems like you got a lot of strategic consulting. I gotta ask, and I think we'll talk about it when we come back. But I think that as my block, my hood, it almost has become probably the preeminent social active or nonprofit organization. And you've attracted a lot of attention as well as a lot of major donors, could we say? We've seen you kind of grow from taking the kids on the tours to a full-blown organization that.
Yeah,
So let's do this. Let's save it.
Okay.
Let's talk about it when we come back. But man, this visual was something. 7 books, bro. Was it 6 or 7? 7?
I ain't bring the other one, but
7 books. 7 books, man. You been grinding, man. It seemed like this congressional run ain't just as organic as we thought. It seems to me like you've been preparing, right, for a while. Like not necessarily but you've been preparing.
I've been studying you, bro.
Yeah, man, I ain't going to Congress. You don't. Well, don't look at my credit then. Look, it's the Mace Jackson Show. Don't study that. We'll be back after these messages. It's my man Jahmal Cole in the building. My block, my hood, my city. But hey, no, for real, y'all, he's running for Congress. He kind of telling us why. Yellow tape, Popeye's chicken. Man, I'm kind of hungry, kind of thirsty. I don't know what to do around here. Plus, the South Suburban News, man, he been giving y'all some jewels. Grass tops leaders. Hey, man, that look like one of them PowerPoints, bro.
Man.
That was like one of them. I'm going to have to come to one of your meetings, man. It's the Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages.
Yeah.
The Mace Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Broken screen, crashed system. Are you in need of spyware or virus removal from your computer? Well, contact RPC Computer Repair in South Shore and let us help you with all your computer repair services and print needs. Need office or print production services, copies, scans, fax, or even notary service? Then stop by and support RPC Computer Repair and Print Shop located 1741 East 71st Street in the 71st Street corridor, newly revitalized South Shore areas, and let RPC be your one-stop shop, where we believe RPC is your PC. RPC Computer Repair is also a UPS access point where you can drop off and pick up your important packages. So let RPC be of service to you. Call RPC Computer Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. through 6 p.m. at 773-966-4457. That's 773-966-4457.
Visit RPC at rpccomputeringinc.com for more information.
I don't know what you did, but you did it right. Girl, you make it look so easy. Everywhere you go, heads turning left and right. Can't say you a dime, you're a 20 piece. Cause girl, you're the reason I be acting funny. Everything in me telling me don't let you get away. And all the guys looking like they wanna love you. Every day I'm your body, got not over my dead body. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nail done, when you put that grown on, why you gotta look so good, 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 good? With your hair done, nail done, when you put that grown on, why you gotta look so good? I can look and see you're not an average chick. You're shutting it down everywhere you go. Girl, I want you as bad as I wanna check. Cause you're sexy from head to toe. Girl, you're the reason I be acting funny. Everything in me telling me I'll let you get away. And all the guys looking like they wanna love you. Every day I'm your body, got not over my dead body. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nail done, when you put your grown on. It's something about you when you put your grown on. Oh, when you're waking up straight out of bed, girl, why you gotta look so good? Oh, when you're at the job just taking a break, girl, why you gotta look so good? In the club turning up, why you gotta look so good? On the dance floor, giving more. Why you gotta look so good?
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Sitting in the studio with me is Jahmal Cole. He is the founder of My Block, My Hood, My City. And this brother got a lot to say, man. He got a lot of passion. A lot of passion, a lot of information, a lot of things that he was sharing me off break. I've been letting you kind of take the lead, man, and letting you share what you feel like you want to share. Brother, I'm going to give you the opportunity to go ahead and continue. You were telling me. So I was asking, first of all, tell me about your path to victory. How do you see yourself winning this election with 25 people in the race? It'll be cut down, but let's say 10 people make it. How do you envision yourself as, what is your path to victory in this election to your mind, in your stand, from your mind? Because how much money do you have in your campaign account? I didn't check your campaign I didn't check your D1s.
We raised
D2s.
about $200,000.
You've raised about $200,000. What do you think it's going to take to win the race? How much money do you think?
We need about $150,000 more. Go to Cole2022.com and support. You know, we're trying to raise $10K in 10 days. I think we can do it. I'm signed up for volunteering, phone banking Wednesday night, and also moving in the streets for Saturdays and Sundays all throughout the first district. So my campaign, my strategy for my path to victory is to, you know, be the last door that they knocked. My energy, right? My energy, my curiosity, my enthusiasm, right? Arousing enthusiasm in people, using social media, right? Just being who I am, telling the truth. And I already have what they call name ID. That was blood, sweat, and tears that I put in for 15 years organizing. So it's really just me being who I am. Thank you for this platform right here. This is huge. It's huge. And that's why I wanted to bring all this stuff up here, man. It's huge. It means a lot to me. So if don't matter, if God got his hand on a race, don't matter who entered the race. But I'm going to talk about it, though, man. I'm going to try not to cry, but I broke out in tears, man. I broke out in tears. I ain't like the Congressman Rush called me a loser, man. Who you talking to, man? Like, what do you mean
he called you a loser? How did that happen? What happened?
No, I ain't gonna put all that out there, but I'm gonna say I talked to him face to face, and everybody trying to make this like a young versus old thing. No, man, I saw Congressman Rush a couple weeks ago at the Push Coalition, right? It was snowing outside, man. I grabbed him by the arm. I took him to his car. I helped him get in. I put his coattail in the car. He said, "Thank you, Jahmal. I felt special. Don't ever call me no loser, man. I'm not no loser, bro. I put my whole life on the line. My home went in foreclosure, started a nonprofit, bro. Like that's not fair. And so also, man, I feel like, dude, first thing I ever said on the media, they try to say you called Congressman Rush old. I didn't call that dude old. I didn't say he was old. That's not. I don't disrespect seniors. Well, yeah, I don't do that. I'm the only candidate in his race that actually has a history of working with seniors. I don't deliver when it's a snowstorm and they get overwhelmed by Mother Nature and they got walkers and neuropathy and oxygen tanks. I show up and shovel snow for seniors. That's me going to buy the shovels and the salt. When it's a heat wave, I go buy the waters in the box fans and deliver them to seniors. That's me. I'm Jahmal Cole from my block, my hood, my city. I'm the candidate that works the most with seniors. So, man, yeah, that's my path to victory is continue to do what I do. I show up for people. I done shown up for y'all my whole life, and I've done it without being in office. These other candidates, they saw this as a career move. They didn't. I was the first to announce. I declared my candidacy first. When Bobby Rush was in the race, I told him face to face. He said, "Why you running for office?" I said, "You told me to run for office in Pearls." He said, "I didn't say run for my office." I said, "Listen, I didn't know what office I was going to run for, man." Like I took that to my face when he cussed me out at the Bud Billick parade. I took that as a like I would, because I knew. My dad said, I broke down in tears. My dad said, "That's what he's supposed to do that to you. Get ready. Put your big boy shoes on, man. This is politics." So I took that. But I say this, man, all these other candidates, they're seeing this, they're seeing this like as a career move. This is the next way that I can show up for people. And if they didn't have the courage to step up when Congressman Rush was in the race, how are they going to have the courage to step up for us when we're in Washington, D.C.? They're teeter-tottering around issues. I did this because I believe the federal government should be doing more for us on the south side of Chicago, and they can do more for us.
What should they be doing?
What should they be doing? They should.
As a congressman,
we're spending all this money in Ukraine, and we don't got counselors in the schools on the south side of Chicago. Come on, man. I think that first of all, we need to listen to people too. I mean, and also we need these kids are shooting these people up. They're not getting their guns from Dick's Sporting Goods, man. They're not getting. There's a federal ban on researching gun violence. You can't even research, and that's ridiculous, man. We need to lift that, right? And we need to start supporting nonprofit. Let me tell you, the people are doing the work. The federal government doesn't need to reinvent the wheel. The Diane Ladekers and Roseland, when she putting her own money up to start internet cafes, she's doing the work. We don't need so much red tape. We need to support her. Aisha Butler in Inglewood is doing the work, buying a block. We need to support her. Will Calloway in South Shore, right? We need to support him. We need to find the people that are doing the work and give them the resources they need to expand what they're doing to broader strategies. That's the ding ding. That's the solution, bro. And so because I'm actually an activist and a nonprofit leader, I'm going to be a partner in government for nonprofits and act. I already know the people on the ground. So that's the number one thing that I have that the other candidates, they don't have.
Okay. Talk to me about your team, your campaign team. Who's on it?
Yeah, so my campaign team, again, I told you some advisors I have, Robert Emmons Jr., who just ran for Congress a few years ago against Congressman Rush, got 10% of the vote. Christian Perry, he's worse in government for Governor Pritzker right now. That's my man. I have Alexis Levito. She's our deputy campaign manager. She's
who's the campaign manager?
Well, I'm the campaign manager. I'm my own campaign manager, but I have a deputy campaign manager as well.
Okay.
Her name is Alexis Lovato, right? I have my girl Tiff. She's my treasurer. I have Crystal Quevedo. She's my director of. Crystal's the truth, man. The truth. Alexis, Crystal, they all the truth. But we hit the field every week, right? We're about that action. That's our campaign slogan, about that action. We're in the streets. And so, it's a few other people on the team. We got social media, right? And then we have a couple political consultants, the mercenaries, whatever you want to say.
Like who?
I ain't going to really
give me a
names.
sense.
Yeah.
So people I know?
No, I don't know. I don't know.
Do you have any outside consultants that have been brought to you?
Yeah. But they month to month though. It's not. I bring them in when they're helpful with a lot of candidate questionnaires come in, a lot of media interviews you might have. How you can. If I could afford more, I would have more. But this is as grassroots as you can get. I'm not raising money from ivory towers. I had one people on my show on Instagram Live yesterday, and that one lady donated $500. I had to thank her. She's like, "I remember you selling books downtown Chicago, Jahmal. That's why I'm here supporting you." Right? We've raised before all these other candidates got in the race. I was number one. Congressman Rush raised $130,000. I raised $110,000. You saw it in the papers. We were doing really well. Then other candidates came in with $500,000. All this money coming out of the ivory towers. But that's fine. But I just wanted people to know. The way political races are viewed in Chicago is that the people with the most resources are the front runners. That's not how you should. It's not the people that's doing the work. It's not the people that's been in a race for 13 months and ran 23 miles. It's the people jumping in on the last mile out they Uber with all these bags of dollars that people are saying are the front runners. That's that behavior right there, man. We got to change that.
I think we do have to change it, but has it changed? Do we think it has changed? Because one of the things I would do is I would look to see. I would ask, like, what resources do you have? What is your media? I mean, there's a lot more that I would go through as it relates to that. But I want to take a step back real quick because we only got about 15 more minutes on this this unabashed. So I gotta ask you. You know, you at the home of What's in It for the Black People. You know, What's in It for the Black People Media, the Maze Jackson Show. So I gotta directly ask you the first question, which is, Jahmal Cole, what's in it for the black people if we elect you as the congressman in the 1st District?
I mean, you just look at my work. I mean, I work with black youth, right? My company is actually called Role Model Movement. It's not even called My Block, My Hood, My City. That's just a brand that I trademarked. Like, when black mothers see me at the gas station on 83rd, they say, "Oh man, can you talk to my little son on the cell phone? He sees you on TV. Or he's going down the road. Just talk to him for a second." When I'm jogging down the street on 79th, every morning they say, "Oh, Jahmal, my block, my hood, my city." That's what's in it for the black people. When I show up at the lunchroom with the kids and I say, "Man, like ain't no agenda for that. You either can swim or not." When you start a program out of Cook County Jail, writing rap lyrics with the young men as a form of therapy, that's what's in it. So when black people say, "Jahmal, are my ideas good enough?" I'm showing them that, yes, you can do it. Yes, you can step up and be a leader. Yes, you can. That's what I'm showing. That's what's in it for the black people.
Okay. So as the founder of the Black People First Party, my next question is, do you support the rights of undocumented immigrants to vote in municipal elections?
Yes, I do.
Let me repeat the question one more time. Do you support the right of undocumented immigrants to vote in municipal elections?
DACA? Yeah, I think that when it comes to undocumented immigrants that have been here for 18 years and their parents show them they don't got a social security card at 18 years old, that person's been a citizen for a long time. And
they haven't actually been a citizen.
Well, I mean,
they've been here, but they haven't been a citizen.
Yeah, I feel like I do support it, and I think that I look forward to having a kitchen table discussion to learn more about the topic, but I definitely do support it.
So so if we sent you to Congress and they had the opportunity, so are you aware of the ward remap fight that's happening right now?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware that right now black people are in a fight for their political power, lives, for actually your future? Mm-hmm. And that, quite frankly, that this district almost became a Latino district. And if the population, if given the right to vote, undocumented immigrants would then probably have a larger voice or a larger say in Chicago than black folks.
What I would say, man, is that I talked to Chuy Garcia when I was first starting, and he talked about his relationship with Harold Washington and how we need to build a bridge between black and brown relations. Right? I look at it's not what people are doing. It's not what happens in the world. It's what you do about it. Right? If you want to get your voice popping in the world, it's not about what other people are doing. You can save 5 years by reading a book. Just continue to do more than people expect. That's how you make an investment in your future. So no, man, when leaders like myself step up, we're gonna bring the next generation up with us. I don't subscribe to that they're gonna like just take over. It's Chicago. Come on, man. This is Chicago.
I think we're already seeing it, though. I think we're already seeing, if you look at every major slot, like if you talk about the education of our children right now, it is in control of the Latino community. And oftentimes what happens is then they bring in their own people. And so now while we was trying to get black history, now we teaching Spanish in school. I think black people are in a state of emergency in Illinois. And I think all of this stuff that you got on the table is part of the plan, right? And even as they're opening diabetes locations and opening more liquor stores, we don't see that same thing. When we saw what happened during the pandemic, we saw tens of millions of dollars being reinvested in the Latino community just to even protect their neighborhoods and assault while black people were under assault. We never heard Chewy. We never heard our allies, quote unquote, speaking on those issues. And so I got to tell you, it does bring me a tremendous amount of pause. That because my thought is politics is about your self-interest. Right now, obviously, it's your district, but it's also about your self-interest. And I would be honest with you and tell you that for me, it's a challenge to say that the person that I would send to Congress would be party to us losing more political power. See, I feel like you cannot. We have an internal problem and an external problem. The internal problem is what you're talking about, which is voting and re-voting and voting for the same people to do the same things, right? But at the same time, we cannot give away, because we have dysfunction in our own community, we cannot give away the power so that by the time we elect the next generation who gets it, that there's nothing for them to have. And so I do think that's something you got to have a deeper conversation.
I would love to, and this is why there needs to be intergenerational communication, so I can learn from you. I'm humble enough to say there's things that I don't. There's a lot of stuff I don't know, but I know I'm the only candidate that I'm the only candidate in this race that would pitch a tent on Capitol Hill. I'm the only candidate that can apply what I learned very, very fast, and I've proven it. So I would love to have a conversation. This is why we need to listen. This is why we need to learn. Like, you've been in the game a long time. Like, I'm just talking about my philosophy in life. I'm talking about regardless of what color, gender, religion, opinion, ethnicity. And as far as this undocumented, I put it like this, man. Like, it's going to take a deeper discussion about that.
Does citizenship matter?
Yeah, I think citizenship matters. I think having a pathway to citizenship matters, that it's not full of red tape, not rallying people up like Texas Rangers. I mean, going to a community and throwing people that's been here 18 years, that's wrong, man.
Sounds like what happened to black folks on a regular. And I think we always tend to prioritize. I see people. I saw a lot of our congressmen crying at the border, even as black people live in Chicago. So I just would point that out. And I'm gonna circle back, because you said you're the only person that would pitch a tent on Congress Hill. Let me tell you, I think when you look at all of this, a lot of that is related to economics, right? And so I don't know that I necessarily need you to pitch a tent on Congressional Hill. That'll be great for media, but I think for black folks, what we need to hear, and I'm gonna ask you right now, is what is your economic plan? Because to me, Congress isn't really about what you can do on the ground. Congress is really about the allocation of dollars and bringing back the bacon to get to our state government, local government, et cetera. So talk to me about what would you do, what is your economic agenda for black Chicago?
Yeah, I mean, of course.
The black component of your district.
Yeah, so I support the PRO Act and people to be able to organize at their jobs. I want minimum wage to be $15 an hour, but I want education to come along with that, right? You can go from making $12 an hour to $15 an hour. You went from eating ramen noodles to eating chicken cutlets, but you still cashing your check at the currency exchange. We need the rich dad, poor dad our way out of this. We need education along. I can't tell you how many NBA basketball players is cashing their checks at the currency exchange. We need education to go along with it. I think the currency exchange, over the course of a lifetime, people were spending $40,000 in fees at the currency exchange. They call them underbanked, right? We need education. We need to be signing up for bank accounts. Stop cashing your check at the currency exchange for that 3%, right? So again, minimum wage, $15 an hour, support the PRO Act. And as far as like just showing people that, how to be an entrepreneur, like how to be most kids I talk to, they want to start businesses. They want to be therapists. They want to have their own nail salon. They want to be, they want to own their own business. Listen, and I tell them, you can save 5 years by reading a book, right? You save more time by having a mentor, right? And also like making sure we have education, like making sure that there's trades being taught in these schools. One of the things I love about my social impact organization is just working with principals and seeing what kind of things they offer, what kind of programs they offer in the schools that kids are interested in. And so, man, that's kind of the beginning. But again, man, like I think that where we differ is that this is the stage. Like this is the stage. That's why 25 candidates enter the race. This is the stage. When you're a United States congressman representing the South Side of Chicago in the 1st District, man, you have to use that stage to make a point, like Congressman Rush wore a hoodie on the floor of the House around Trayvon Martin. That was him using the platform to make a point. That's what I'm like. You have to be able to do that.
So let me ask you. You did. I gotta go back down to the bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
So who got it for you? And if everybody didn't get one, what you doing with that one, man? Let me back up though.
Yeah,
was it a prop? Let me ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you come to WIIFTBP because I guess and is this the new vision of a congressman? I feel like was it for our audience? I'm just kind of curious. Did you is the outfit a prop? Mm-hmm. Right, with the bulletproof vest? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. I want my congressman to go represent me and go get that bag out of Congress, whether it is the social service, whether it's the economic. Talk to me about that whole concept of the stage and the platform and the prop.
Yeah, so the thing is, man, is that you have to, when Malcolm X had the AK and took the picture, the Instagram picture, was that a prop? When Dr. King was doing what he did on the bridge, was that no? It's a way to reach people. And I think that, you have to like be thinking ahead. And I think that when it comes to the bulletproof vest, no, man, I got this for my life. I bought it on my own. I told you, I've been shot at 3 times in the last year. Like I still jump when I hear a gas can pop. I can't have cars drive next to me. I got shot, bro. Like I got shot. Like I literally have PTSD. And so my bulletproof vest is something I wear all the time. And I got security too. But the thing is, man, I feel like I wore it because I wanted to make a statement to let people know that gun violence is real. Like, it's a real thing, man. We got kids, 14, 15, even younger, hopping out and shooting at people, shooting at activists. Look what just happened to Jeff Beckham. Like, it's people doing good work in Chicago and people jumping out on them like me. That's not fair. So what can we do about it from a nonprofit level? We know exposure is key. You got to reach them when they're 13 before the mentors is adult boys, right? But what can you do from a federal level? What kind of things can you pass? What kind of mental health clinics can you get in the schools? Ain't no counselors in schools. So, man, no, I feel like I think that maybe it's just me because I'm a millennial, but at the same time, man, I feel like if you need people to view. You need people to view. And then it's a numbers game. On a good day when I was hustling books downtown, 2 out of every 100 people will buy. On a great day, 3 out of every 100 people will buy. No matter how great the day was, 97 people still said no. So I realized that, I had to stand guard at the door of my thoughts and get to the people that do. So, to some people, they're going to say, oh, you wearing a bulletproof vest? I'm not taking a class on people that think that. I'm standing guard at the door of my thoughts. I'm going to continue reading my books and continue going where I'm going because I know, man, like, you just got to stay focused.
Talk to me about one of the things that you told me at the beginning that it jumped out to me was that Rahm Emanuel told you that you were bigger than an alderman. What made you decide to start at Congress with no actual political experience? One of the things that I do notice is that a lot of times people jump from industries without any actual working government experience and then find it difficult. Talk to me about, should there be a growth, or did you just start at the top because it's like, why not? Help me understand why not some sort of progression.
I can't speak. Well, first of all, man, I was voted Chicagoan of the Year. Last year, I was voted one of the most powerful Chicagoans by Crain's Magazine, like number 10, right? I've won every award you could think about in Chicago over the last 10 years, right? I've raised millions on top of millions of dollars and put hundreds of kids through college. I work with over 100 block clubs and help them with speed bumps. I help them with stop signs. I clean up alleys. I gave millions of dollars out to seniors throughout COVID-19. Like, I have the right kind of experience. I have a right kind of experience. So as far as why I ran for Congress, it's because the people wanted me to, right? And Alderman Sawyer was the first person I told, and he said he supported me in it. You know what I mean? So it's not like I just jumped. I worked my tail off over the last 13 months to learn about policies and to study what Congressman Rush has done. I've been trying to reach out to him. I told him I was the first person to walk up to him and tell him he ain't like what I said, but I approached him with respect. And so that's why, man, it wasn't, I'm not the other candidates. That's a question for them. Like, why did you jump in with 2 months to go in an election? But just what did you see this as a career move? Like, no, I studied it. I studied it 13, 14 months ago, and I've been out here in New Lenox talking to the people. I've been in Beverly listening to people. I've been in all 42 municipalities. I've been there. running in block club, running in marathons in the morning. I've been doing the work, and the people say the people say that the first district don't end at the end of Chicago, Jahmal. We feel underrepresented. We don't feel like we've been represented. That's what they're saying in Manhattan. That's what they're saying in Mokina. That's what they're saying in New Lenox. So the people are speaking, and I'm uplifting their voices.
Let me ask first of all, I want to thank everybody from WBGX 1570 AM. Thank you to all of our seniors who are tuned in with us. They got to tune out, but check this out. You can continue this conversation at Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Again, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Maze Jackson. We got callers. We're going to take calls. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Jahmal, talk to me about, you listed like all of the publications and awards and all of the people that have acknowledged you. Tell me about the because those tend to be general market. Tell me about the most significant black accomplishment. And let me ask you another question before I go there, because I wear a different hat in my Black People First people are asking. As a congressman, would you commit to putting the interests of black people first?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, triple yes. And my most significant accomplishment is having 2 black daughters. And I'm about to get married May 20th in Hyde Park. My fiance is a black woman, one of the most intelligent person I've ever met. My everything, man. So I think my most significant accomplishment is Kamor and Kennedy, my 2 daughters. One's empathetic, one's compassionate, right? Both activists, but at the same time, like, those are my babies, and I'm a role model to them. And then, man, that's what I do, man. I watched the movie Malcolm X so many times growing up. I thought Denzel Washington was Malcolm X. I started my block, my hood, my city because I wanted people to say, ooh, talk. I wanted to feel smart like that. I wanted to speak in front of the currency exchange and beauty supply stores. I wanted to do that. Everybody was watching Aladdin. I was watching Malcolm X. You know what I mean? So they called me Booker T. Washington, right? I had to wear a suit, man, all that stuff. So I just started wearing a hoodie when I started volunteering at Cook County Jail because nobody listened to me when I was wearing my suit. So I put the hoodie on, and that broke down the barriers. I've done this. And so, yeah, man, I'm not new to this. Like, this is not, I have the right type of experience. I've been showing up for people. And I've done it all without being in office. I've done it all. Like,
so why do you feel like you need to be in office to do it?
Because I just gave out $250,000 last month. 1,800.
Like, where do you be getting all this money? We got to talk about that.
Yo,
like, you balling out, Joe?
Yo, I gave out, 1,800 businesses applied for small business relief a month ago. I gave out $250,000.
Where? Okay, so let's
only
stop.
50 businesses could apply. Only 50 businesses got the money. I'm not big enough my arm's not big enough as a nonprofit to help people. The federal government needs to help. We need support. I got a 36 school waiting list for my after school program. That's not a nonprofit issue. That's a federal issue, bro. I can't solve gun violence with just a nonprofit. That's a federal. We need the bag. We need to get the bag. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay, we're going to talk about it. I got to understand. Man, bro, you doing more than like a lot of grown, I'm just curious, like, bro, how did you get access to this capital? And I don't even know nobody got $250 to just be giving away. We're going to talk about it. We'll save it till we come back. Right. Hey, man, we are talking to Jahmal Green. Jahmal Cole. Look, the Jahmal, you ain't got no apostrophe in your joint. Look, Jahmal Cole, candidate for Congress in the 1st Congressional District. He's running to replace Bobby Rush. Look, y'all, I want to make sure y'all get the chance to talk to, I don't know if we going to fit 25 in. Well, I don't even know if we're going to fix 16, but I want to give everybody an opportunity to come in, to sit down and talk with us because we got so much going on. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break. Maze Jackson.
What's up, Chicago? This is your man, Maze Jackson, host of the Maze Jackson Show. You hear me every single day ask the question, what's in it for the black people? Well, finally, y'all, we've got an answer, and it's called the Black People First Party. Meet us every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at TP, located at 5401 South Wentworth, Unit 17E. That's in the mall at the 55th and the Dan Ryan. And you join us every Saturday where we are taking our politics black. We'll teach you everything you need to know about the game, from how to collect a petition to how to knock on a door, to even how to become the next mayor of the city of Chicago. That's right, y'all. It is the Black People First Party. Meet us every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at TP, located at 5401 South Wentworth in the mall at 55th and the Dan Ryan. And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said. This is a black people thing you wouldn't even understand.
Maze Jackson.
Today, the Biden administration is releasing what it calls a new strategy to fight domestic terrorism. Following a 100-day review, federal officials are now laying out a new plan hoping to deter, detect, and prosecute domestic terror.
They went to the Capitol waving their flags and looking for smoke. He was out there looking for justice. They was over there looking for votes. Ashley Babbitt was with him and told all the people that nothing could stop us. She climbed through the Capitol window, breached security, and called a shot, bro. The media say she a veteran. They paint the picture to make her look greater, but she disrespected the same country that she served. That makes her a traitor. They was fighting police, resisting arrest. On God, I couldn't believe it. I guess blue lives only tend to really matter when it's convenient. Hey, these are the times we witness in history, all because they didn't get a victory. United States is so contradictory. We get equal rights, that's a mystery. Politicians, they more like magicians. You know they got tricks up their sleeve. We point out the flaws that's up in this country. You know they gon' tell us to leave. Somebody try to help me understand it. Always seems like a double standard. They be out here leaving us empty-handed to certain rights we are not granted. The media is the culprit when it comes to the comparison. Cause when it comes to race, they always changing up the narratives. Terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know what we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know what we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know what we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. We still out here trying to get our reparations, but the government pump faking out here hesitating. I'm out here trying to keep my peace, so I keep meditating. The media make us look bad, they taint our reputation. Look, it's so sad that COVID causing toe tags. You claim you so patriotic, but you ain't wearing no mask. You out here wildin' with your MAGA flags and showing your ass. You wanna be part of some type of revolution so bad. Look, you talk revolution and constitutional rights, homie. I guess we forgot about back in the days when all of the business was whites only. Yeah. George Floyd got justice. Juneteenth got much respect. They made it a national holiday. Man, it's all good, but cut the check. They're giving out all of these vaccines, putting it in you like caffeine. Was it all in the part of the plan? I bet money like DraftKings. It's land of the free, home of the brave. 1776, we wasn't free till 1865, so we wasn't part of that shit. And that there's terrorism. Terrorism.
Terrorism. Terrorism. Terrorism. Terrorism. Terrorism. Terrorism.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said. Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts. Man, Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happening in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to Senate. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let this give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I got my man Jahmal Cole in the building. Y'all got it cracking in the den in the comments. There's so much going on. I got to do something real quick, though. Oh, Riis, you found the Lions. Go on, turn them up, man. We ain't heard the Lions in a long time. So, Riis, the tradition is that usually when we have a politician or a seeking politician, the Lions then, like, you open up the thing and the Lions get a rah, 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 rah. Right? So, turn them up. Let me hear them real quick. Right, you hear that? That's the Lions den. That's, you heard it before. You see that? You hear that? That's the Lions den. So if somebody is walking in the den, when I say, wake my lions up, that's my lions. You see how that sound? See how we, that's right. You hear them, you see them, that's them. They hungry. They want something to eat. They don't want no hot chips, though. Hey, they'll be running around here burning up, trying to dump it out. I'm going to stop, though. That's a whole nother joke. Let me do something else real quick. Shout out to my man, Willie Preston. Y'all, Willie Preston, another young elected, hopefully soon to be elected official that has been grinding and been out here. And I'm going to tell y'all, a lot of them didn't have no political underpinnings, and they saw a need and they jumped in. So I want to be clear, y'all. Some of the stuff that I'm listening to, I have opinions about, but I also feel like we haven't necessarily. It's crazy to me that we have a Jahmal Cole that other people invest significantly in, and we're not there in some cases. Jahmal, I also, though, am one of the challenges that I have in life, and I'm going to be straight up with you, is that a lot of times white folks identify the best of us, and because we don't have the tools in the toolbox to invest in the best of us, then they are able to turn you on and give you access to people, places, and things that you might never get access. Like I don't have the dial up, right, to pick up the phone and call somebody from, like, say, a Deloitte or whatever to give you best practices. Mm-hmm. And so I think one of the challenges that we have is that, and this is part of the reason why I feel like we got to make sure that we open this dialogue up, right, and have an understanding, is we want to make sure that you aren't weaponized against us. Right. And so let me tell you, and I give you a perfect example, and it's that issue of undocumented immigrants. And I understand all of the young millennials and, black and brown and all that. But we in Chicago, and we're in the midst of a political war. And Chuy Garcia is going to definitely make a positive relationship with you, because they want our young warriors not to be recognizing who, in some cases, I don't want to call them the enemy, but in politics, this is it's a war without words. And so I just think the big challenge that we have, or the big fear we got, is that we don't want to lose people like you to interests that may not be in our best, if that makes sense.
I think that's fair. That's fair. I think where we disagree is our philosophies. Like, you're talking about